Democrats seem to be having this debate whether or not Mayor Mamdani is a socialist or a democratic socialist. Let me settle it. He's a straight-up communist. How do I know this? Well, I'm reading between the lines when one of his major advisors says, elect more communists. Which is fine. It's fine. It's a belief system. He's allowed to believe it, and people are allowed to vote for it. But if liberals deny it, like he's just going through a goth phase, they're going to lose more elections. This is not a communist.
Bill Maher is cutting straight through the political smokescreen, laying out why Democratic leadership is bleeding momentum. This time, he took direct aim at New York Mayor Zohran Mamdani, and he didn't hold back.
New rule, if you're still looking for a New Year's resolution, here's one. Get out of your media bubble. The most frustrating thing that happens to me whenever I'm off is people I run into want me to do my job, which I'm on vacation from, privately, in restaurants and at parties, and, well, the bathhouse is a separate situation. But look, I'm happy to share my opinions wherever, except for this. Everybody, left and right.
Maher makes one thing clear early on. Most people, left and right, are only partially informed. And when Mamdani rolled out aggressive plans involving tax increases and immigration enforcement, it struck a nerve. Maher fired back with zero hesitation. So buckle up, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into what's really going on.
Algorithms locked out. Her name is Sia Weaver. And if you ask anyone in the blue sky bubble who that is, they'll look at you like a turkey looking up at the rain. But she's kind of important in New York, being Major Mamdani's chief of the Office to Protect Tenants. And since Mamdani's big issue is the rent's too damn high, yes, he stole this guy's act. It's a very key appointment in the most important city in the country, which is also our financial center. It matters that the mayor stands by, and so I assume stands with, someone who says things like, if you don't believe in the government's sacred right to seize private property.
That moment was the breaking point for Maher. This wasn't a careless phrase or an awkward soundbite. It was a flashing warning sign. From Maher's perspective, the consequences he's been predicting for years are no longer theoretical, they're unfolding in real time. This stops being policy disagreement and starts looking like ideological capture.
Private property. Home ownership is racist. Elect more communists. Private property, especially home ownership, is a weapon of white supremacy. Really? Even among the 20 million black Americans who own their own home? I mean, these are the kind of utterances I might forgive as something a dumb white girl said while she was at Bryn Mawr. Because it's the kind of privilege hating you can only learn for $95,000 a year. But these are statements made as an adult. Yes. For co-eds from elite private colleges, you're only a lesbian until graduation, but the communism...
It's not hard to understand why Maher was irritated. Claims like these don't come across as bold or visionary. They come across as careless. To him, this wasn't progressivism. It was abandoning critical thinking altogether. When ideology replaces analysis, education becomes branding instead of substance.
Ice, and I'll tell you why. Because what we see is an entity that has no interest in fulfilling its stated reason to exist. We're seeing a government agency that is supposed to be enforcing some kind of immigration law, but instead what it's doing is terrorizing people, no matter their immigration status, no matter the facts of the law, no matter the facts of the case. And I'm tired of waking up every day and seeing a new image of someone being dragged out of a car, dragged out of their home, dragged out of their life. What we need to see is...
Watch how Mamdani and much of the left-leaning media frame this debate. Headlines explode with outrage, while follow-up corrections quietly fade into the background. That imbalance drives Maher up the wall. What should be serious policy discussion turns into emotional theater designed for clicks, not clarity.
Debate whether or not Mayor Mamdani is a socialist or a democratic socialist. Let me settle it. He's a straight-up communist. How do I know this? Well, I'm reading between the lines when one of his major advisors says, elect more communists. Which is fine. It's fine. It's a belief system. He's allowed to believe it, and people are allowed to vote for it. But if liberals deny it, like he's just going through a goth phase, they're going to lose more elections. This is not a communist country.
But Maher's frustration isn't really about Mamdani alone. His real anger is aimed at party moderates who know exactly where this road leads and still refuse to speak up. That silence is how fringe ideas move into the mainstream without resistance.
Really, the choices we get here are either the worst version of crony capitalism or communism, either a side deal for the Trump family every time he does business overseas, or the lady who says, impoverish the white middle class. Oh yeah, there's a great campaign slogan for you. Honestly, as New York mayoral races go, I was less creeped out by Anthony Weiner's.
Maher once believed the party had reached its lowest point. Instead of reassessing, leadership doubled down. That's what shocks him the most. Rather than correcting course, the DNC leaned further into the same ideas, forgetting why voters were drifting away in the first place.
Programs that are going to ask the immigration status of any one of the children. All of those children are New Yorkers. They should all be enrolled in pre-K and 3K, no matter where they were born or where they come from. And we are also proud to be a sanctuary city. What a sanctuary city means is that we have policies in place, policies that have existed for years in this city, that deny ICE agents access into schools, hospitals, city properties, or even the properties of city contractors, unless those ICE agents can present a judicial warrant.
The pressure is visible across New York. Neighborhoods that once thrived are now struggling under the weight of failed policy. What used to be economic hubs are turning into symbols of neglect. Ignoring what's happening doesn't solve anything. It gives the crisis time to spread.
I took the problem to the mayor himself, showing him video of people camped on the street in such frigid weather. What is your office going to do about it, and is it acceptable, given the fact that it's 21 degrees, for these people to be there on the street, on the Upper West Side, and getting no help?
It is not acceptable for a New Yorker to have to find shelter outside, whether on the Upper West Side or anywhere in this city. New Yorkers should be able to find a place to call their home. And what I have said consistently, first as a candidate, now as the mayor, is that outcome.
On paper, these ideas sound humane, but critics point out the obvious comparison. California tried this already. Massive spending, minimal results, and homelessness only grew. Repeating the same strategy while expecting a different outcome isn't compassion, it's denial.
A bubble. The most frustrating thing that happens to me whenever I'm off is people I run into want me to do my job, which I'm on vacation from, privately, in restaurants and at parties, and, well, the bathhouse is a separate situation, but look, I'm happy to share my opinions wherever.